We have no.
Aaron, my apologies. We have no sound on the live stream.
There you go. That's a good idea.
All right, Aaron, you're good. We can hear you.
Now you're on it.
Yes.
Good. Chicago. One, two, three. And Wes, can you hear me? I don't know. I think he's just said okay, and then he went on to his next project.
Aaron, they can hear Dennis. But they can't hear you.
Terrific. Well, my name is Dennis Blitz, and welcome. We're with the IRA Club. Now, there's two kind of groups that are talking today. Aaron, who's going to talk about real estate, and I've known Aaron for many years. Probably one of the most successful real estate investors I've ever met, and I've met a lot of real estate investors. I am the president of the IRA Club. A lot of people use their IRA to make investments in real estate. So many people have an IRA or an old 401k or a retirement account that is underperforming, or they don't really pay attention to it. And so it sits in a money market fund, and it sits in some old mutual funds, and it's kind of goes up one day and down the next day, and don't realize they can use that money to make almost any investment for their future. One of the favorite investments of wealthy people is to use those IRA dollars, because you always want to keep your money active. You always want to keep it, have your money making money for you. They want to keep that money active, and so they'll take those IRA dollars, and instead of letting them lie in a mutual fund or an ETF that's kind of waddling along, they'll invest in real estate. We all know real estate has been historically a very, very profitable investment over long periods of time, very reliable investment. And so some weeks, people that like Aaron, people who are in the industry will tell me that 50, 60, 70, 80% of the investors are using IRA dollars to make their investment, or old 401k dollars. Any kind of retirement dollars can be used to make a real estate investment. We can talk a lot about how wonderful this is, because if you use, for example, a Roth IRA never pays income tax. And so you could make an investment in real estate. All the rent money that comes into the account comes in tax-free. You sell that property, make a profit at the sale. Again, all 100% tax-free. It stays tax-free for the rest of your life, and income tax-free, and even goes to your heirs. So great opportunities for really increasing the size of your return with IRA dollars. Another thing people don't know about IRAs is IRAs can partner. for example, let's say you have $80,000 in your IRA, I'm making up numbers, and you find this wonderful investment that's $110,000. And your first thought is, well, gee, I can't make that investment. I can't buy that house. And I've got all the numbers here. I see this is really going to work, but my IRA is $80,000. The investment would be 110. And your IRA can partner. Maybe your spouse has an IRA. Maybe somebody else in your family has an IRA. Maybe a friend has an IRA. Maybe just a friend as an individual. So it could be your IRA and the friend as an individual, and on and on. So IRAs are terrifically flexible. The reason most people don't understand how flexible it is because you've always had your money maybe at a mutual fund company. And what is their goal? Their goal is not your return. Their goal is their earnings on mutual fund sales, because they get fees. And so they will always direct you back to those things that give them the best fee. And what we say with the self-directed IRA company is you should invest in those things that are going to work best for you. And so self-directed IRAs will allow you to invest in real estate, do lending, which can be part of a real estate transaction. Some people use it to buy rental properties. Some people use it to buy mobile homes. Aaron gets aggravated every time I say mobile homes because they're called manufactured homes, but I haven't quite caught up with him yet. And on and on. So there's many opportunities to make a lot of money in real estate for your IRA, passively or actively. Aaron, are you back up?
I think so. It looks like it was tracking the microphone from my camera and not the table mic that I have set up. So if you're listening, give us a little shout on the chat. Let me know that you can hear me okay. And if Ramez is on there, hopefully he can pop back on and let me know that I'm being heard. Yep. Yes, I can hear you now. So
Good.
I went in the settings and there's a little tiny microphone on the camera, which we don't want to use when I have a really expensive table mic in front of me. Okay. Thanks, Ramez. So, the first thing that we wanted to break down for you is the gifts that we have already given you. We have some really cool gifts that we've shared with you. Want to make sure that you understand what you received from us. So in the link that we gave you for the live stream today, there are 2 YouTube videos. I want to show you what those trainings are. Now, those trainings are actually based on our Aaron Adams training website. And this is a series of classes that I've put together with my business partners, real estate associates, and we have 2 really cool classes that we've already shared with you. The first one is the Real Estate 101 training. I want to explain to you what that is. Now, you can see from the website, normally that's a $1,000 training. It's discounted to $99. So right off the bat, we've already shared with you a $99 value training. What this training is I recorded it with my business partner, Travis Howard. He and I have about 400 properties together in Charlotte. And it's a beginning 3-hour training, an overview of you're interested in real estate, but you have no idea what you want to invest in. And so what we do is we go through the different strategies: flipping, commercial properties, apartment complex, mobile home parks. We go through some different strategies that are available out there, and we give you the pros and cons. So you, depending on how much money you are, how much money you have, whether you're active or passive as an investor, where you live, those are the 3 biggest factors, can come up with a strategy that fits for you. And so it's we meet people all the time who say, I love watching the flipping shows. I've always kind of thought about doing flips. I think I could do that. Those guys on that show are idiots. Or we meet people who say, for example, I've wanted to get in real estate. I heard you can buy property with no money down. Is that true, and how? And so Travis and I spend time talking about that strategy. So it's a 3-hour commentary. Trav's been in real estate for 20 years. I've been in real estate for 20 years. Our collective operations are doing $100 million in real estate every year. So 2 people who've done every strategy that's out there. I've built spec homes. I've built commercial buildings. I've built apartment complex. I've done mobile home parks. I've done single family homes. Thousands and thousands of properties that I've done over the past 20 years in every asset class. And you get kind of a 3-hour 2 cents on what's good for you, where you live, and in the market that you're in. So we've already given you that training. Check the email that Fred sent you. Fred's the one who sent you the email from us. Maybe he sent you the reminder from today. And there's what we did was we took the training off Aaron Adams' training website, uploaded it to YouTube. It's on there so that you can very easily watch it on your phone, listen to it in the car, watch it from your computer. That's why we put it on YouTube. Now, the other training that we shared with you, which is also on the Aaron Adams training catalog of classes, is the IRA 101 training. And Dennis has already kind of given some of you an overview on this topic. Now, we call it IRA 101 because, many investors, in fact, probably what, Dennis, 98% of all IRA and 401k accounts are managed by the big companies like Fidelity out there?
That's right, because exactly about 2.5% of IRA accounts do what we call self-direct. That is, invest in what they want to invest in. Maybe it's real estate, maybe it's something else, but 2.5% invest in what they want to invest in. The other 97.5% are sitting at a mutual fund company or in an insurance company where you are always going to invest in what they want you to invest in. No matter what you do, you end up investing in what they want you to invest in so they can make their fees.
So there's in the United States, there's over $20 trillion in 401ks and IRAs. 98% of investors keep their money with a company like Fidelity. Fidelity is a privately held company. The family that founded it back in the 1940s is one of the wealthiest families in America. Their trust fund has billions of dollars in it. And they have about a third of the IRAs and 401ks under their management. Many of you might have a Fidelity Fidelity manages your IRA or 401k. And most Americans, 98% of Americans, think that you just kind of have to keep your retirement money with a company like that. You got to pick stocks or index funds or stay in cash, and that's all that's available to you. Where Dennis is unique and where his company is unique is that the other 2% of investors do what's known as a self-directed IRA. The self-directed IRA is one of the best passive strategies out there because you take control of your retirement money. If you want to put your money in Vanguard index funds, you can do that. If you want to trade stocks, you can do that. But unlike a Fidelity, where Fidelity won't let you invest in real estate, with a self-directed IRA or a self-directed 401k, your 401k can own property. Your 401k can go on the title as the owner of the property, and then every month the rent comes in. That's the growth. That's the return. If you sell the property and you make $20,000, that's the growth. And a lot of investors have no idea that they can do that. That's a strategy that's available to them. Dennis and his company in Chicago, they're a trustee, a self-directed IRA trustee. Let's hop over to their website really quick. The website for Dennis's company is iraclub.org. And Dennis, you guys have been in existence over there for how long? When did you set up IRA Club?
Recently, 2009. So we're only in our 11th year, and we have about $500 million, a little over $500 million that we supervise every week.
Right. So Dennis has tens of millions of dollars that they're the trustee for. Fidelity's a trustee. If your 401k is with Fidelity, they're the trustee. Your money sits in their FDIC insured account if it's in cash or if it's invested in a stock or a mutual fund or an index fund. And when it's not invested and it's just in cash, it sits in their FDIC insured accounts, and they're the trustee and they oversee your money. Dennis is a trustee specifically for self-directed IRA investors. And so when you
and 401k.
Pardon me?
And 401k, yeah.
And 401k.
Yeah.
A self-directed IRA and a self-directed 401k. And so when your money's in cash, it sits in his FDIC insured bank account. He's a trustee. If you decide that you want to buy property with it, then his team reviews the transaction and makes sure it's compliant and it doesn't mess up you're not breaking any laws. If you'd like to invest in a business. And so on Dennis's website at the IRA Club, and you can see as I kind of scroll down, they show the different kinds of common self-directed investments that you can do with your 401k or your IRA. So you can invest in real estate, you can do loans, you can do mobile homes. So there's a lot of different topics that you can do. And what we did at the IRA 101 training for you was Dennis and I sat down for just over 3 hours and break down step by step how the process works, what are the laws behind it. Many people are like, I had no idea I could invest in real estate. I had no idea I could invest in a business. I had no idea I could make loans. And we walk you through exactly how that whole process works. Again, we took that training off the Aaron Adams training website. We uploaded it to YouTube, and you already have a link for that. So I wanted to make sure that we clarify The two very valuable. It's over 6 hours of training that we've given you, a couple $100 value that we've put together. And what I really want to highlight is, as you can tell from the technical side of the presentation today, we are not structured as a seminar company. Dennis is not set up to sell books and tapes. I've written books. Dennis has written books, but that's not the purpose of our company. Dennis and his business is self-directed IRAs and 401ks. My business, I can show you here on the slide, an organization chart of my company, and my business is one of real estate. And so we're currently in 5 markets. I have 4 of them highlighted here. We're in Indianapolis, we're in Kansas City, we're in Idaho, we're in Charlotte, we're also in Dallas. In each of those 5 cities, I have an Alpine Property Management, I have an Alpine Construction Company, I have an Alpine Brokerage. We're managing thousands of rental properties. We have single-family homes under management. We have apartment complexes under management. We have commercial property under management. And so we have a very kind of broad investing scope for our company. So, for example, over the last 3 years, one of our biggest growth areas has been mobile home parks. And we now have 9 parks under management. We have a couple of parks in Idaho. We have several parks in Kansas City. We have some parks in North Carolina. We've also set up modular and manufactured home dealerships in those 3 markets. Spent roughly $10 million on those projects. It's been a big growth area for us. And so over the last 20 years, when I started investing, and I was teaching high school when I got into this, I literally went to Barnes & Noble, went to the real estate investing section, bought some books, and started reading one. I think the first book that I read was a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Maybe some of you have seen that book. And that book really fascinated and intrigued me, got me interested in investing. A few weeks later, I saw an infomercial with a guy named Carlton Sheets who was pitching no money down deals. That was interesting to me. And so I didn't want to spend the $5,000 for his training that he was offering on the infomercial, but I found an older version of it with cassette tapes from the early 90s, the No Money Down program on eBay. I bought that for $99, and between Rich Dad Poor Dad and some eBay cassette tapes, and then I attended a boot camp at the Mission Inn in Riverside where I learned how to do pre-foreclosure properties. I was off to the races. I literally bought my first deal while teaching high school. It was a $100,000 duplex that I picked up. In fact, I got a picture of it here on a slide. So there's my first deal on the screen. It was in Hemet, California. My wife and I moved into one side of the duplex. There's a little house in front there. We rented the back out for $750 a month, which, we lived there for free because the rent from our tenants in the back paid the principal, the interest, the taxes, and insurance for our mortgage. We were living there for free. We didn't love it there because it was a pretty rough little area, little pocket. It wasn't our dream destination. But it really kind of anchored in me this idea that I could do real estate, that I could make money in it. Because when we sold that property 6 months later, not only had we lived there for free, but I walked out of closing with a check for $50,000. And this lit me on fire in terms of real estate investing. I bought more books, I bought more tapes, I went to more seminars. And after this property, I actually purchased a 7-unit apartment complex that I flipped 9 months later for $130,000. And so, what's interesting is 20 years later, I'm still learning new strategies and applying them. So right now, one of the new projects we've been doing is storage units. Love storage units. I'm interested in storage units. We've been developing storage units. You can't really buy good storage unit places because when they're full, nobody ever sells them. And so we're doing new construction development of storage units. I have a 60-unit apartment complex, and we're adding storage units and carports that we're going to rent out to our residents and residents from the neighboring apartment complex. And that's looking like we're going to make 30-40% on our money. And 20 years ago, I wasn't thinking storage units. I wasn't learning about storage units. 2 or 3 years ago, I learned how to build commercial property. That was a new topic of real estate that I didn't understand. A few years before that, I learned how to be a custom home builder and develop land and get plans approved with city planning and city councils. And so what's interesting about real estate, and I've been in this for 20 years, and Dennis is an investor as well, is that real estate isn't complicated. I have a master's degree in business. And obviously we have a huge multi-million-dollar operation. We're going to do $100 million in real estate this year. But what's interesting is there's nothing very difficult to understand. If I had a couple of hours, I could break down for you why I love storage units, what I've learned about storage units, why I'm developing storage units, and why I think I'm going to make great returns on storage units. If I had a few hours, I could do that with flipping, with mobile home parks, with apartment complexes. And so we put Aaron Adams training together because people are constantly saying to me, hey, why don't you teach this? Why don't you make this available for investors? And why don't you help us move forward on that? That's why we created it. It's not because we set ourselves up as a seminar company. Many of you have probably seen those companies that are out there that are selling, books and tapes. Trump University was infamous for ripping people off. And the problem with Trump University is Trump basically licensed his name to a group of seminar people who sold people packages for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and then didn't really deliver on the results. And so you had a lot of people that were mad. They went to the Attorney General, they complained, they filed class action lawsuits. And where we're unique is since we are a real estate company, and most of my clients, probably 80% of my clients, work with Dennis and his company. And many of my clients are taking some of the profits that they've made in the stock market over the last 10 years and diversifying their retirement plan and buying some property from us. So we actually sell properties to investors that we're willing to manage for those investors. That's the business model that we have and that we've had. And so Dennis and I said, hey, let's put together a website where we can bring investors in who are interested, teach them, maybe they do some deals with us, maybe we sell them some deals, or maybe we charge them a very low $99 and let them buy a class and go learn how to do that strategy. So if you look at Aaron Adams' training website, we've added, Fred, do we have that new foreclosure class on there yet?
It is not up. We expect it to be up next week.
So if you look at the classes, you can see on the right here the different classes that we have. We spent a lot of time during COVID recording and uploading these classes on here. So the two classes you already have, you can see, are on there. We also have a wholesaling class. I'm going to talk about that as an active strategy. The marketing, we currently send about 30 to 40,000 postcards and letters out to homeowners every week. And if you're a property owner, maybe you've received one that says, hey, I have cash, I want to buy your house. Those work. If I send out 2,000 postcards, I usually get 20 or 30 phone calls, and I get a deal. And when I say a deal, I mean I get a property for 50, 60 cents on the dollar. So in that marketing class, about 3 hours, we break down for you how we do direct marketing to find deals. Everybody's interested in flipping. Everybody's watched the flipping shows, and flipping is a sexy topic. So in our Flipping 101 class, again, 3-hour training, what we thought of when we were doing these classes is how do we put a training together for 3 to 6 hours to help people know, 1, if they even want to do that strategy, 2, if it works in their market, and 3, gets them started down the road. That's our goal with all of these classes. Mobile homes on there, creative finance is on there. That's the training where you learn how to buy property with no money down. Construction for beginners. Maybe you're intimidated because you know nothing about construction. We show you how to do bids on projects yourself with no construction knowledge, and we also show you how to find good contractors to work with. Airbnb is a hot strategy right now. Asset protection is a big topic. Commercial real estate investing. So it goes on and on. The point with the training and the point that I want to make here today is we're hopeful that you see today as a starting point on your educational journey. Whether you're active focused or passive focused, I can't emphasize enough the credibility that Dennis and I have in our respective fields, and in terms of your confidence that we can help guide you in both of these strategies. Dennis, what am I missing? I know you got something to add to what I've been saying.
I think the thing that I want to add so much is that for people who are listening to this and saying, that's nice, la-di-da, is that I have attended, because of what I do for a living, hundreds and hundreds of seminars on, get rich quick in real estate. And you've seen them and you've heard them, and you know the ones. And I can tell you, because I've done it for so long and I've worked with these people, that the vast majority of people running those get rich quick in real estate seminars are really seminar guys. They're really wonderful at filling a room with innocent, wannabes. They'll get up and tell you how to get rich quick, but they themselves have, in many cases, never bought a house. They've never bought two houses, or maybe they bought two houses in their whole life. They are not really real estate people. And what they're telling you is just basics that really you can get anywhere, and charging $20, $30, $40, and $50,000 for the weekend. What Aaron has put together here, and I watched so many of these videos, and I know the people on these videos. These are people who are every day in the field doing it. They're not trainers. They're people who, I know Aaron mentioned, as Fred, of the foreclosure video was up, and Fred said it's going to go up in the next few days. I watched the filming of the foreclosure video. It was filmed with three people who work the foreclosure market every week. That's what they do, and they've done it for years and years. The information that they bring, the information that they give. So if I said to you, would you, if you want to buy pre-foreclosures or foreclosures, would you like to sit and have 3 hours with people who have been doing it for 20 years? Do you think you'd learn something? Of course you would want to sit with those people. Of course you would learn something. I would too. And so that's what the videos are. So every video that Aaron has on that list are with people who are actually doing it. There's no get rich quick, people on there like you get at the seminars. These are all wonderfully experienced with great insight, and they're willing to share.
I have a slide on the screen here that talks about what's happening in real estate right now. It identifies some trends that are on there. Oh, we got a question here from Wes, Dennis. I have a Roth IRA 10% and traditional IRA 90%. I'm considering doing a backdoor Roth conversion of my traditional IRA over 4 years. If I purchase a property 50-50 Roth and traditional, can I then convert the 50% of my traditional IRA later?
Well, Wes, thank you very much for that question. And seeing as nobody else understands the question, I'm just going to give you a straight answer and say, yes, you can. Wes is talking about converting a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, and that's a wonderful, wonderful idea. He's talking about doing it over a couple of years. And the reason he wants to do it over a couple of years is because he wants to spread out the tax charge. We don't charge to convert a traditional to a Roth IRA. So there's nothing in it for us. So I don't want to sound like I'm pushing it so I make money. The fact of the matter is there is a cost because you do pay the income tax on conversion. That sounds terrible. I don't want to pay income tax, but it's a wonderful thing because what's going to happen to that traditional IRA as it grows, when you do take the money out, it will be a taxable event. And which way are taxes going in the future? They're going up. So the sooner you can convert your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, what happens when you take money out of a Roth IRA? It comes out tax-free. And so there's a tremendous savings. If you plan to make an investment that you think is going to grow, try and convert your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. I will tell you, we do charge for that. If you do it at the IRA Club, we charge $15. Compare that to the hundreds of thousands of dollars of tax savings, you'll see it's really quite a value. One quick thing, Wes, that I do want to say is I know what you're doing is trying to spread out the tax burden over 4 years. I respect that. I understand that. Think about for a moment trying to bite the bullet a little harder this year because this year taxes are low comparatively. Taxes are on sale practically. In the future, taxes may go up. Now, I think it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican who is going to be in office. Taxes are going to go up because there's a huge debt burden for our country, for our states. And so maybe the sooner you can do that conversion, the better. But yes, you can do it in steps. I think that was your core question.
So let's talk about what's happening in real estate, because I think as an investor, if you're trying to navigate, are you active, are you passive? First of all, let's define those. And an active investor, when I did my first deal, I was teaching high school still. And so my active income was coming in from my W-2 income as a teacher from my job. I started doing real estate investing on the side. I did when I bought that duplex, I became an active investor, dabbling on the weekends and on the evenings. And I didn't start passively investing in real estate until I bought my first rental. So typically a passive investment is more like owning a rental property and paying a property manager like my company does for investors, where we work with hundreds of investors who've bought property from us passively. We do the management, we take the maintenance calls, we have the contractors that fix them up and take care of the property. We keep the records for the profit and loss. They sit back and they collect the rent. That's a passive investor. Active investing is how most people get started. They learn to do a flip. They buy an apartment complex and manage it themselves. And so when you're looking at investing, you got to understand what's happening. There's 4 big factors in real estate right now that I have on the screen for you that highlight what's been happening in the real estate markets. And let me just go through them quickly. So the first one is there's been a housing construction shortage. People have said to me, is the market going to crash again? Is this 2008 all over again? One of the biggest reasons why I say no is because if you look back to 2008, we were overbuilt about 4 million homes in the United States. There were subprime mortgages. They called them liar loans, and people were getting properties with no money down, very low credit, as low as 650 you could buy a home. Some people were able to borrow 120% of the value, so the home's worth 100 grand. You could get a loan for 120,000 and put 20,000 in your pocket at closing. Those types of loans went away when the market crashed in 2008, and since then, builders got burned. There were hundreds of thousands of builders that went into complete bankruptcy in 2008, and they've been very slow to start building again. So one of the biggest factors in the real estate markets out there right now is there is a housing construction shortage. This time around, when we have the COVID-related issues affecting real estate, we're underbuilt. We have a shortage of homes. Builders haven't kept up with the minimum demand, so some have forecast that we're short probably 3 to 4 million homes that we need right now. And the area that's the most affected by that is blue-collar, entry-level starter homes. As a builder, I can tell you that if I'm looking at building entry-level homes and high-end custom homes, I'm going to go with the custom homes all day long because of one big element: upgrades. So when the homeowner decides to upgrade to the walnut floors as opposed to the laminate floors, when they upgrade to the marble as opposed to the granite, when they upgrade to custom-built cabinets as opposed to prefabricated, as a builder, I make most of my profit on those upgrades. And when I'm, as a builder, when I'm building entry-level homes, you just try to make it on volume. And so builders have chosen this time around to not focus, and so we have a huge housing shortage. That's affected availability of rental property because builders haven't been building homes for homeowners. They also haven't been building affordable rentals, apartment complexes for renters. So not only in the United States are we short on single-family homes and housing units for people to buy and live in, we're also severely short in the number of rentals that we have available. And we've seen that with vacancy rates. Vacancy rates prior to the last crash were 7, 8, 9%. They're now 3, 4, 5%. And so when rentals do become available, they immediately turn. Thanks, Kyle. Kyle said this is so good. So thanks for joining us today, buddy. Appreciate having you. Tim says thanks so much for all the value. Thanks for being with us, buddy. And so one of the biggest factors for real estate investors, if you're thinking about getting into real estate, you're going, look at the construction numbers, and we're short in terms of homes, we're short in terms of rentals, and affordability has dropped. So many of you have seen really strong appreciation over the last 12 years in the market where you live. Most of that has been driven by the fact that there's not enough homes. One of the interesting numbers that I've watched happen this year during COVID, if you go back a year ago to a market like Indianapolis where we're managing 1,500 properties, go back 12 months and you would see that there was about 6 months supply of homes on the market. When COVID started, that had dropped to about a 3-month supply. Now in September of this year, we're down to less than a 1-month supply of inventory sitting on the market. That's happened in Kansas City, that's happened in Idaho, that's happening in Dallas, that's happening in Charlotte, all the markets that we're in. And so there, if you're thinking, well, maybe I should get into flipping, maybe I should get into investing, now's a great time. I never thought I'd see the day when you put a home on the market in Kansas City and you get multiple cash offers the same day. That's always been the kind of thing I saw in California or New York or Chicago, hyper markets. And so because of the shortage of properties we have, as an investor for you, that means there's never been a time to get in and learn the strategies to invest in real estate. Now, wages haven't kept up with appreciation. And so while, you go back 6 years ago, the median home price in America was $163,000. It's now well over $200,000. So you've had 40% appreciation over the last 6 years. Wages have only appreciated about 20%. And so home prices have been doing this, wages have been doing this, and you have this affordability gap. And so you look at our millennials. Millennials are getting into their early and mid 30s now, late 20s. They're the age where they want to start buying a home. Some of them are starting to get married. Some are having families. They call that household formation. Household formation is getting pushed back because homes have never been less affordable. Our parents and our grandparents, it was easier for them to buy their first home in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 60s. It's very difficult because the amount of money that people make is not keeping up with the rate at which home prices are going up. And so affordability has forced many Americans to stay as tenants and rent. And as a landlord, I love that because I've never seen as many qualified renters applying for my houses, applying for my apartment complexes, and slowly we're becoming a nation of renters again. If you look at right before the last peak in 2007, we almost hit 68% home ownership. That rate has been plummeting for the last 12 years. It's been dropping. The markets have gone up, home prices have gone up, and home ownership has been dropping because as this 20, 30-something generation is getting older, they're not able to afford to buy a home, and so they have to stay as renters.
Aaron, can I jump in on this for a second?
Sure.
And tell you, that I hope everybody is kind of catching what Aaron is saying between the lines, and that is there is terrific reliability and earnings potential at the lower end of the market because this, Aaron refers to it as a nation of renters, which is a very, very good way to say it. But take a look at what's happening right now today. The two largest hiring companies or where most people are being hired right now, they've got big help wanted signs out. They are pounding the pavement to get new employees. Are who? Amazon and Walmart. The Amazon warehouses need 100,000 people right now, and they're out hiring those people, and they're going to find them. Walmart has said they want to hire 20,000 people for holiday season just to pick and pull merchandise to put in their delivery trucks. That's a lot of people. Now, here's the catch. The catch is both of those jobs are $15 to $16 an hour jobs. Those are not going to be home buyers. They're going to be renters.
Yep.
And so I think that the pressure, a need for rental property in the future is going to just continue to grow at a growing rate. So there's terrific value in what Aaron is saying. And I really want to point out how much money can be made, whether for yourself, in your IRA, however you do it. Rental property is going to be a growth engine for years to come.
If you're a passive investor, you want to sit back and collect rent, there has never been this kind of opportunity to get into passive investing. If you are an active investor who maybe you've learned how to do flips, but you're looking to expand your strategies, there's some great ways to make money. It's interesting. I did my first deal in 2000. I had made my first million by about 2003. And I left the high school and said, I'm going to do real estate full-time as my active income. And so I bought a mobile home park. I was flipping single-family homes. I bought an apartment complex. I had a mix of active and passive investments. And I did very well. 2004, 5, 6, I relocated my whole operation from California to the Midwest. Started investing in Kansas City, started investing in Indianapolis. I started Alpine Property Management in Indianapolis in January 2005. Jumped down to Dallas, started investing there. went back to Vegas in 2011, and we did Vegas, and then we did Orlando. So I've been all over the country over the years. I had never made $1 million active income from my deals until the market crashed. So 2008 hit, they called it a black swan event. The stock market lost 40 to 50% of its value. Home prices plummeted 40 to 50% of the value. And in 2009, I was still in the game. I remember getting on an airplane and someone would say to me, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "Well, I do real estate." And they say, "I'm sorry for your losses," because real estate, no one wanted to be in real estate in 2009. And Warren Buffett is brilliant, and he's a billionaire, and he's one of the most respected investors out there. And one of his sayings is, "When others are fearful, be greedy. When others are greedy, be fearful." And right now, everybody's freaking out. What's COVID going to do to real estate? Is it going to crash the markets? What happens if Biden gets elected? What happens if Trump gets elected? Maybe I should just wait. And I'm here to tell you that waiting is never going to help you change the financial picture that you're in right now. Waiting is never going to help you achieve the financial goals that you have for yourself and for your family. Waiting will just guarantee that you'll be in the same place 6 months from now that you were 6 months ago. And what was interesting for me is that since 2009, I've never made less than $1 million from my real estate investments. And so on this slide here, I've identified what I think are some really hot opportunities. An overview of them. I love flipping right now. When you can get 3 or 4 offers on your homes, all you really have to do is find a good deal and get that under contract. Wholesaling is a strategy. Mobile homes, manufactured and modular, I mentioned those earlier. It's a huge growth area for us. Foreclosure. We've watched foreclosure rates across the country triple and quadruple. And I asked Fred earlier because just 3 weeks ago, we recorded a 3-hour training on investing in foreclosure properties. And blue collar elements of the market, multifamily, are hot right now. Airbnb is hot. What isn't hot? Where has COVID really hammered real estate, and what potentially could be a pitfall? Commercial office, commercial retail is getting hammered. We've all seen restaurants that are closed. We've seen strip malls that are empty. We've seen businesses closing at a high rate. High-end rentals are hurting right now, and high-end homes are hurting. Vacation rentals, if they're in a high-density area, are not doing as well. And so, what I do as an investor and say, how has COVID impacted my investing efforts? And what's really unique is I've come up with 3 or 4 strategies that have really been killing it in real estate. Let me give you an example of one of them. So I love mobile home parks, and I like to buy the mobile home parks. But I have a friend of mine named Eric, and he lives in Salt Lake City. And I walked him through the step-by-step process of how to buy a mobile home in somebody else's park and flip it. And he said to me, "Aaron, I never thought I could flip a mobile home." And I said, "Well, this is how you find it." So I walked him through step-by-step how to identify the parks around him, go drive them. I told him what to look for. I told him what to say to the manager. Long story short, he got a home under contract in Salt Lake City, which is a hot market, very expensive housing market. He got a mobile home in a park under contract for $5,000. He put a new furnace in it. He put a new hot water heater in it. He did carpet and paint. He spent about $7,000. So he was $12,000 into the property. He put it on Facebook. He put it on Craigslist. He didn't list it on MLS. He just listed it on Facebook, Craigslist, a sign in the yard. He had 3 people show up. He did a little open house. He staged it. He had 3 people show up, and he was able to flip that mobile home for cash, $35,000. Into it 12, sold it for almost triple. And what he did was not unique. It's a strategy that works pretty much anywhere but Hawaii, and it doesn't work that great in Alaska because there's not a ton of parks. But if you live in the lower 48, whether you realize it or not, there's probably 10 mobile home parks within 45 minutes of your house. Imagine me walking you through the steps to take advantage of that strategy. That's a strategy that almost anyone watching can take advantage of. There's other very unique strategies that I have identified that I'm working to exploit and take advantage of the opportunities that are falling into my lap because of COVID. And so we're very excited about that. And what I did was earlier today, I recorded a 1 hour, about a 1 hour video where I break down for you what I think 4 hot investing strategies are in real estate. I put those together, I put them into a training, I put some PowerPoint slides together. And so we have an offer for you today that I want to break down and let you have a chance to ask questions about because I want you as an investor who's starting out to be able to take advantage of this content, of this training. So I have what I've called my 4 hot buying strategies in a COVID market. We're going to make that available to you today. If you email Fred at alpinecapitalsolutions.com, his email is right there on your screen, and use the code KICKSTART, Fred will send you a link to that training. He'll send you the PowerPoint slides to the training. One of those 4 strategies I just broke down for you. I give you an overview. I think mobile homes are hot. I go through some strategies that work. Tim, there's a couple of strategies on there that will work, even though mobile home won't work. Fred's email. Fred, we can't put an email address in the chat, can we?
No, YouTube won't let us. They'll block it. So
yeah. So email Fred. He'll get you set up. One of the things, we gave you the Real Estate 101 training. We gave you the IRA 101 training, but those are YouTube links. So what Fred is going to do is he's going to email you back a way that for $49, you can register on Aaron Adams training and lock in the Real Estate 101 class and the IRA 101 class so you can access them at Aaron Adams training. It'll charge you $49 for that, and then Fred will email you the private link to the 4 hot buying strategies training that I put together. What we've also are going to include with that $49 is I have a network of investors that are all across the country. In fact, I got a slide here of many of them. So it's like my power team, and we're going to put you on the phone with one of my partners one-on-one, and they'll break down for you and help you consult specifically. So included in that $49 is a 1 hour one-on-one coaching session with a real estate investor, with someone that I personally know, very knowledgeable on strategy. And, Tim mentioned I can't do that in Hawaii. Well, Tim, they can get on the phone with you and walk you through the other 3 strategies and how those potentially could be applied in your market. And so we're going to, everyone has questions. Everyone wants to say, what's the best strategy for me? Or maybe you've had a chance to watch the Real Estate 101 training and your brain's spinning and you're like, what's going to work here in Washington? What's going to work in Phoenix? What's going to work in Florida? We want you to be able to talk to somebody one-on-one who can help walk you through that process. The final thing that you're going to get for that $49 offer that we have for you today is in a few weeks, we're going to be doing a Saturday Summit live stream. And at that Saturday Summit, we are going to, I'm going to host it, and I'm going to bring on my experts. So I'm going to bring on the instructors that teach with me all the classes, my Airbnb guys, my commercial guys, my mobile home guys, my flippers, my construction people. They'll come on for that one-day training, teach you, walk you through strategies. The question bar will be live, so you'll be able to ask questions. The legal guys will come on, the lawyers. Dennis will be there talking about retirement investing. And so we're going to do a summit that you'll be able to watch from home, that you can be able to watch from your phone. Your attendance at that summit is included. So $49, we think it's a great starter package for you to kind of kickstart your investing. All you have to do is email Fred at alpinecs.com. Use the code KICKSTART to take advantage of it. Fred will walk you through how to get registered at Aaron Adams Training. You'll lock in the 2 classes. It's $49, and that $49 covers the 4 hot COVID strategies that I've outlined for you, that training, the PowerPoint that goes with that. That includes the 1 hour consultation with our property expert, and that includes attendance at our next summit. So we're excited about this offer. We think it's ridiculous value. I don't even want to try to put a dollar value on it. But if you're serious about investing, whether it's active or passive, this is an offer that really has a lot behind it. Dennis, what are your thoughts?
Wonderful. And I can't tell you how much value there is there because of the quality of the people who have put these things together. I do want to just quickly say, if you haven't figured it out already, every investment that Aaron is talking about can be made with IRA dollars. And you say, well, big deal. Well, the big deal is, number one, many people have an IRA that's just underperforming, or maybe it's all in the stock market and you want to take something off of that table. And two, IRAs have tax preference, Roth IRAs tax-free.
Yeah. Dennis, in my example, when I was talking about Eric earlier, he's going to have a big problem if he did that outside of his retirement account, because he bought it for 12, sold it for 35. He's gonna owe taxes on that.
And did it within a few weeks. Yes, he is going to have. Yes, he has a new best friend, and it's his Uncle Sam.
Yeah, and now I know for a fact that Eric is almost in the 40% tax bracket. So on that $23,000, he's going to owe roughly $12,000 in tax. Now, if he would have bought that,
Plus,
go ahead.
Let's go on. He may have a state income tax.
Yep, which he does in Utah.
He does. Oh, he lives in Utah, so he does. And there, maybe other taxes, but for sure, he's well over 40%. He's going to give away almost half of the money to taxes, all of which could have been avoided in an IRA.
And so one of the things that Dennis can teach you on that IRA 101 training that we've given to you already is how to take your IRA or your 401k, have it buy the mobile home for $5,000, have it fund in the repairs and improvements for $7,000. And then when that $32,000 cash gets deposited in the trust account for your IRA or your 401k, how you have no taxes, there's no capital gains, there's no short-term capital gains. It's tax-free growth in IRAs or in 401ks, isn't it, Dennis?
And the point is that Aaron is right. And the point is that whole amount is then available to make the next transaction. In other words, after this person that Aaron is speaking about gives up half of it to taxes, only half of it is available for his next transaction. And you can imagine the difference in compounding when you do it with no taxes, because all of it is available to compound.
Yep. The other three strategies, one of them is an Airbnb strategy to capitalize. One of them is a commercial property strategy. One of them is a single family home strategy. So there's four very unique strategies included in the COVID opportunities, hot opportunities video that I put together. I walk you through those: mobile home, foreclosure, Airbnb, and commercial. So four very unique strategies I'm personally utilizing right now. We were able to get an Airbnb property for 30 cents on the dollar, a commercial deal for 45 cents on the dollar. And so when others are fearful, there's huge opportunities that are out there, and there's never been a better time for you to get going on those. If you feel like it's not enough information, well, that's why we have a 1-hour consultation with our coach. Our coach will get on the phone with you, help you map out a game plan. If you need additional classes or trainings, maybe they'll recommend and say, hey, to take advantage of that Airbnb strategy, why don't you get the Airbnb class at Aaron Adams Training for $99? They'll help you map that out, or say, I like the way you're thinking. Go for it. This is good for you. Email Fred at alpinecapitalsolutions.com. And what will you send them, Fred?
So Aaron, I'll send them an email. I'll return an email, give them a link to the site so they can go on there, make the purchase, get both the IRA class and the Real Estate 101 locked into their account in their membership. Those also come with 1 month to our Zoom calls, which is you and the rest of the experts. They'll get a chance to participate in that. And then they'll get, I will email them the link to your COVID strategies and the slides from today.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. So one of the things that we've been doing, people who've been buying the trainings, they have questions. If you just watched my Airbnb training, that one's almost 6 hours. I guarantee you're going to have a list of 20 questions. So what we've started doing once a month is our Airbnb trainer, Devin, who teaches the class with me. He manages my 30 Airbnbs in Indianapolis. He's going to hop on a Zoom. You get to hop on the Zoom, and you can go through your questions. And so we're very excited about the Zoom monthly Zoom calls that we're having, because it's allowing our investors who are doing the different strategies, commercial, mobile home, wholesaling, flipping, Airbnb, to hop on a Zoom call and get questions answered. So we're very excited about that. Fred, we had a student recently who wanted to do one-on-one with one of our trainers of the class. And what do we have available for them in that scenario?
Yeah, if you want to do, so if they want to take it to the next level, obviously we offer multiple bundles on all of our classes, with the exception of Real Estate 101 and IRA. But any of the actual strategies like wholesaling, marketing, they can proceed up to buying a year of Zoom calls. There's also a bundle that includes the instructor notes from the class. There's a bundle that includes sample documents, contracts, spreadsheets, and other things that our experts use. And then the top bundle, bundle number 5, also includes 2 days of live training. And what we've done in the past is brought people into Indianapolis to take the class on a Thursday and Friday. That allows them to meet with, marketing. We're running a marketing class in October, and then a wholesaling class in November. So 2 days with one of the experts, Travis and Brittany, on Thursday and Friday. And then that also allows them to roll straight into Saturday and Sunday of your class in Indianapolis if they choose to, or they can just come for the 2 days of training. So bottom line, 2 days of live training with an expert and the opportunity to sit in 2 additional days of training with you if they purchase bundle number 5 for wholesaling and marketing now. And then the rest of the classes will be scheduling them out in 2021.
Great. So what we found with investors is that you're going to be in a different starting point. Maybe you've already done some deals. Maybe you really are the type of learner that you need to be able to talk to somebody, that you need to sit down face to face. Or maybe you're somebody who can just read and watch a video and be good and off to the races. So what we've done with our packages on Aaron Adams Training is we have everything is customizable. And so that if you want to sit down with the instructor and do Airbnb one-on-one for 2 days, we can provide that for you. We can set you up on that. If you're cool with Zoom calls, but you want like a year's worth, we got a package for that. If you just want the 3, 4, 5, 6 hour class, $99. So we're really excited about it because we're not trying to gouge people on classes. We're not trying to make people spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a bunch of classes they don't need. We allow you to order a la carte, just like you go into a restaurant and you pick the side you want, you pick the entree you want, you pick the dessert you want. We're allowing you to pick the amount of education that you need and get in the door for as little as $99. So we're excited at this introductory offer. It's very specific. It's very customized to what's out there. I can see that some of you have already reached out to Fred, and it looks like Kyle's getting set up as well. And so Tim just said he hit you up, Fred. So fantastic response. And Fred will shoot you an email back. He'll walk you through how to get access to 1 month of the Zoom. He'll send you the link to the training that I put together with my 4 hot strategies. Again, those have to do with mobile home, like I mentioned, commercial properties, Airbnb, and residential. So 4 completely different applications that I'm personally taking advantage of to crush this market. That's what you want to think about, is what can you do to get in the game? If you got as little as 10 grand that you can do a deal, we have that for you. We have that broken down for you. And then Fred will also link you up with our consultant. They'll reach out to you. They'll schedule a time. They'll block out an hour of their time. It will be 100% about you, the market you're in, where you're at with cash. Are you more active? Are you more passive? He'll break that down for you and then make introductions as needed. And then when we do our next summit, you'll be able to attend that with us. Now, we're excited about the summit. Our goal is to have 8, 9, 10 experts there and join us for a full Saturday, 6 to 8 hours of training and content, all live stream, available for you to access from anywhere that you got an internet connection. So, this is a giveaway for us. This is about moving forward with you and moving to the next phase of your education. And if you're serious about that, so are we, and we're here to help you every step of the way. Our time is up. The hour has gone quickly. Dennis, any final words? Thank you for joining us today.
I want to add one thing, that if anybody wants to get a hold of IRA Club, don't worry, just call Fred. It's just, write Fred. Fred will contact us and we'll reach out to you. So Fred will be, you have one point of contact that'll work.
Yeah, just email Fred at alpinecapitalsolutions.com. The email's on your screen. Fred will give you Dennis's personal address, personal cell phone number, social security number. Fred, but not mine, just Dennis's. Dennis has more money than me.
Okay, but other than that, forget it.
Fred, any final words?
I know. Look forward to hearing from everybody. And again, you can just hit reply to the email I sent you that invited you to this if you'd like. or Fred at alpinecs.com. I'll get you hooked up, send you instructions on how to take advantage. And then you can start poking around the site and figuring out what other bundles or what other things you might need. And if something appeals, just hit me up and I'll help walk you through it.
Okay. All right. That's all the time that we have. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to hearing from you, meeting you at one of our events very soon. Thanks.
Bye.